Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. JLP confident of a third term at the helm but says significant work still needs to be done. Who should fix the dilapidated course? Government and Court Administration Division at odds. And later in sports, Reggae boys to face Honduras with Nation League's quarterfinal spot on line. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carrie Simpson. Here are the details. Chief Justice Brian Sykes is acknowledging that maintenance of courts island-wide is a shared responsibility of the Ministry of Justice and the Court Administration Division, CAD. His acknowledgement comes 2 months after Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck said the responsibility for the maintenance resides with the Court Administration Division. Mr. Chuck said the CAD is well-resourced to improve the conditions of the courts. Speaking at this morning's press briefing, Justice Sykes says the issues in the courts are not new. He pointed to a report which was conducted in 2007 by a government-ordered task force.
That report indicated that there was a significant problem with the court infrastructure. It was described as old and dilapidated and inadequate. This is all in the task force report of 2007. Since 2007, and certainly by 2009, it was well known that our court infrastructure was poor and the courthouses decayed. But nonetheless, the judiciary is committed to providing the best quality service in the circumstances.
A senior member of the Jamaica Labour Party is urging the party's leadership to hit the road as it prepares for the next general elections. Member of Parliament for West Portland, Darrell Vaz, says this is necessary if the party is to secure a third term. Speaking at a divisional meeting in Southwest St. Catherine Sunday night, Member of Parliament for West Portland, Darrell Vaz, emphasized that in the interest of the country, Prime Minister Andrew Holness must secure a third term. He highlighted some of the policies under Mr. Holness's stewardship over the last 8 years, which he argues that have transformed the country.
We have been in government for 8 years. We have done well. We have 1 year. And this year, despite the amount of work that we have done to change the lives of the people, to change the economy, to do everything that we needed to do in the most harsh times, COVID, hurricane, all sorts of things. If you want the third term, as we have on the clocks, the only thing that you have left to do is clear your diary. Put a team who can go and run the government and go back on the road, which is where you went in 2016.
He described as frightening the actions of the opposition People's National Party in wanting power.
If this country ever make the mistake to give them back this country, you will not recognize this country in 2 years. In 2 years, they will reverse every gain that we have made in the last 8 years.
And Mr. Vaz also reacted to news that attorney Isaac Buchanan of the People's National Party will challenge the Portland Eastern seat held by his wife, Anne-Marie Vaz.
I have proven myself as a politician. I have proven myself as a strategist. And I have turned Portland, one seat that was 18 years, straight up PNP, and the other that was 30 years. And between my wife and myself, we have done the work. So who won't come?
In the meantime, Mr. Vaz is urging his colleagues as well as party supporters not to get distracted.
Don't get caught in the strategy that is being played. The strategy that is being played is a distraction. It is to take away from the good that we are doing and get us into petty argument about all sorts of things which mean nothing to the bigger picture.
The unidentified body of a man was found along a roadway in Spanish Town this morning. TVJ News understands that he was gunned down while riding his bicycle sometime around 8 o'clock along P Lane. According to reports, loud explosions were heard and the police summoned. Upon arrival, the man's body was found with what appears to be gunshot wounds. The Spanish Town police are investigating. The St. Thomas police say they are investigating a number of motives, including politics, which could be behind the recent spate of violence in the parish. Deputy Superintendent in charge of operations for the St. Thomas Police, O'Neill Thompson, was responding to questions from the counselor for the White Horses Division, Hubert Williams, at the recent sitting of the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation.
We have invested heavily on our intelligence apparatus. Some of the root cause, so to speak. I would say that we are picking up that there are political reasons behind it. So I'm asking the representatives here, if you have such information and can assist us, it will be great. It will be great. Well, we are picking up some reasons for the reset. However, we cannot discuss that in this meeting.
With ongoing concerns about the treatment of the homeless population, local government minister Desmond McKenzie is promising to redouble efforts to ensure they are cared for and to create avenues for rehabilitation.
The local government minister says the JLP administration and the opposition are united in ridding the country's streets of homeless people. In recent months, there have been gruesome attacks of persons living on the streets, especially in the corporate area. But if the political representatives could have their way, all those individuals would be in a shelter or rehabilitated.
Since 2020, more than 68 homeless persons have been rehabilitated and have been returned to their families, and is now contributing fully to the growth and development of Jamaica. And I think this is a tremendous achievement by those persons.
Mayor of Kingston Andrew Swaby says that the KCMC is working on a strategy to lessen the homeless population by next year.
We at the KCMC are aware of the challenges experienced by members of the homeless community, and we are trying our best to do what we can with what we have. The Police Department continues to join forces with our partners to extend services we offer and try to make a positive difference in as many lives as possible.
In the meantime, Mr. McKenzie is urging Jamaicans to be mindful of the homeless in society.
It reminds us of the vital importance of ensuring that we advocate that the voices of the homeless are heard and that their needs are understood, and most importantly that their dignity is respected.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
It's time for Montego Bay to be redefined. That's according to Chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Richard Vernon, who is promising to get it done. Details in this report.
Speaking with journalists recently, Montego Bay's Mayor Richard Vernon stressed that the congestion in the town is unbearable, not only for locals but tourists alike. It's why he says the Montego Bay Perimeter Road, which he toured, will be a beneficial asset to not only St. James but other parishes in the western end of the island. But the bypass is only one aspect of the futuristic Montego Bay for Mr. Vernon.
We are now looking across the city space for more metered parking areas, and we are also looking at the possibility of multi-story car parks. That has been a long discussion, and we are moving closer to a conclusion where that is concerned. And once that is available, we'll provide more updates as to where these multi-story car parks will be and the new mechanisms that we could put in place, including the mechanical multi-story car parks in sections of Monte Bay, so that we can also pedestrianize some areas to improve urban walkability as well as urban mobility.
One such area which is being looked at for pedestrian traffic only is the popular Jamaica Boulevard.
We are doing a deep dive into the conversation to ensure that all the stakeholders involved, they can carry through their end of the bargain, because that area also includes the management of storage systems, the management of lines, conduits supplied by the Jamaica Public Service Company. We also have to look at the National Water Commission water system in that area. So it is not something that we will get done overnight, but we have to unpack all the different challenges associated with the implementation of that project and look at the alternative in a top road area for streamlining the traffic within the space.
However, hastened to caution that the project will not be completed until all the requisite studies have been done and all the potential issues are ironed out. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More local stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. A family needs your help this afternoon in locating a relative. He is 71-year-old Rainford Crossburn. Mr. Crossburn was last seen on Saturday in Willowdene, St. Catherine. He was wearing a grey shirt, grey cargo pants and grey slippers. TVJ News understands that he suffers from dementia and would be in need of medicine. If you have seen or know the whereabouts of Mr. Crossburn, you can contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-997-0432. And it's now time for the Business Minute.
Jamaica earned $55.9 million from exports to the CARICOM region for the first 5 months of this year. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin says this was a 13.6% drop when compared to the $64.7 million recorded for the similar period in 2023. The International Merchandise Trade Bulletin published by the National Statistics Agency says the decrease was largely due to lower exports of mineral fuels. This was valued at $8.2 million, down from $20.7 million from January to May last year. Further afield, manufacturing giant Boeing plans to cut about 10% of its workforce. It has more than 170,000 employees worldwide, the vast majority of those in the U.S. This is among the cost-cutting moves being taken by new CEO Kelly Ortberg, who took the helm at Boeing in August. He says Boeing needs to refocus resources and not spread itself too thin. The company is also dealing with a strike of 33,000 hourly workers. For the Business Minute, I'm O'Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories. In the region, after a week of renewed protests against the high cost of living in Martinique, officials on Sunday reported a calm on the streets of the capital while negotiations to reduce prices were said to be progressing. Most roads were cleared and only a few remained blocked after several days of demonstrations. On the international scene, the decapitated bodies of 5 men have been found on a road in central Mexico. Officials say forensic experts have been trying to identify the victims. They added that the brutality of the murders and the disposal of the bodies in a public place are a clear indication of drug cartel involvement. And those were the top regional and international stories. We now head to another break. When we come back, sports is next.